we're like, okay. So then,
Yeah, Little Miss, I still.
All right, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Bob, you go ahead.
Plowed byway on Monday and opened it up, opened the gates and everything on Thursday, on the 15th, when we're supposed to. After I plowed it, of course, then it snowed again. But there was, I don't know, there was probably 5 inches on top of where, but it was that wet snow, so when you go through it, you went right to the pavement. But I don't know, it might have been a little tough for cars and stuff, but we had the signs up where it's not maintained for winter travel. So. It's open, Lemi Pass is open. We got lots of moisture.
Scenic byway open?
Scenic byway's open.
So we can get all our treasure hunters up there?
I don't know, they were waiting at the gate when I unlocked it on Thursday. And then like, by the time we got over to the other side, they'd already driven around my side. So. Lots of moisture, got some cattle guards cleaned. Now, we're gonna do the steel bridge the first week of June. I'll probably close it on the 29th after Memorial Day, so we can get started on it and kind of get ready and stuff. But I'll talk to the people who live across, let them know and stuff. I think we're opening bids this afternoon, if we get any. We did get, okay, awesome.
You got one. I got one.
All right.
Big deal.
Now we get to clean up our mess after all the moisture. Everything's a mess, but we'll work on it.
Yeah.
It's a good mess.
Yeah, yeah, we'll take
Did it put the
moisture.
fire out?
What's
Did
that?
it put the fire out up at Salt Rock?
You would think.
All this?
Oh, it rained it out.
They got a lot more.
A lot of moisture.
For 2 days for the rain.
They pull that camp out of wisdom then, or?
Yeah, we did it. When did I go up?
I'm just curious, because I went up
Thursday
there
or
and
Friday.
inspect the camp and it's like already gone, so. Yeah.
Lori Miller's crushing gravel out of Matador for me. Working on a couple other gravel pits, so. Wow.
These cattle guards they just changed on the highway department. Does the county have a chance of getting them?
They're gonna give them to us.
Oh, that's what I wanted to know.
Last time when they did them out here, those ones will probably just haul to scrap. But we go through them.
Yeah.
Any good ones we can
Yeah.
make, we can. Then
And they've had a lot of traffic over them. I just wondered if you
And
had
they
any
just beat up pretty bad, but some of them you get are pretty good, but yeah, when they get all done, he's gonna call me. They're just keeping them out of their pit for right now. As soon as they're all done, and he's gonna call me. We're gonna go get them all.
Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully we have some good ones out of it. I guess that's all I can think of right now.
Hey, Jack?
Not much this week. It's gonna be pretty quiet. I have a meeting tomorrow. It's a public meeting at the 4-H building at noon. For our research projects we have going on in the county on wild and domestic sheep commingling. And the transmission that can occur between wild and domestic sheep. So there'll be a public meeting for that tomorrow afternoon. Other than that, I have a welcome meeting for the interns on Friday, and my intern starts next Monday. So I think she's probably on her way up here now. But that's all I got.
Hey, Tom?
What do I got? Last week I was at Fort Harrison again on some FEMA training on, writing emergency plans, which was pretty good. It was a well-needed training that should have been done a while ago, if you ask me. So I kind of got some new ideas on, or better information rather, on moving forward with, adoption of some emergency operations plans and that type of thing, and updating. Other than that, quite a few septic permits in, and quite a few of them that I'm dealing with right now are pretty complicated, so they take a lot of time, and that's because they're on properties that are larger than 20 acres, so it looks like, building wise around here, that seems to be kind of a focus now, that's on these larger lots, so. Oh, and then a couple other enforcement issues. We got a big mess in Grant. We got another ongoing mess down in Monida that has came up again with some complaints on it. And as soon as I can get with Sky, I'll be going over that with him. So that's what I got.
And Nick called this morning, he suggests nobody go to the landfill for a while. But he's up there hauling rock and they're trying, they can't even get into that pit, so they moved into the new pit, for temporary till they get the mud under control.
Wow.
I would avoid 10-mile road just in general.
I was going bald last night.
This country's not used to that kind of winter, but I love it. We'll take it.
Oh, man.
Bob's job never ends. It's either full of holes or full of mud, one or the other.
Or both.
Yeah, we got lots of places to fix now. Lots of calls
That it?
already.
Justin?
This week, we're gonna be doing inspections in the concession stands. Potentially could be a jackpot on Thursday, and that's really it this week. The junior high rodeo is gonna be next week, so we're kind of just getting ready for that. Gonna be setting up a bunch of stalls, and preparing for a bunch of people down there. Osborne Fencing is going to be working on putting up new gates on either side of the grandstands. I got blueprints if anybody wants to take a look at those. I'm not sure if they're starting that this week or the following, but it'll be getting done soon, and the JCs will be paying for that. Yeah, that's kind of all I got for the week.
Any word on the water truck?
Nothing yet.
Okay.
The arena's a lake right now. so
Yeah, I don't think you need
I
one.
need it.
Probably need a pump, all right? Shauna?
So last week, I had Kevin and Alexis were actually gone sick all last week, so it was just myself and Ballard last week. Alexis did take her boiler test last week. She did not pass, but it came according to the note that they actually checked it 3 times. So with the note of that means she was actually very, very close on the boiler test. They changed it this last year, so it's a little different. So she has 45 days. She can go back and take the test again. So we'll help her study some more on that. Alexis is gonna be on Tuesday, I'm gonna be on Wednesday, and Shauna's gonna be on Friday. Thursday, we're gonna take our Master Gardener test with Jack. We also are basically just trying to get everything ready for summer. So we're gonna try to mow the lawn this week and get flowers planted for Memorial Day. I did get some new rope for the flags. So with the help of Vigilante Electric, we'll restring that up and get that going. And that's about all I got.
Stacy?
Pretty quiet on the home front.
Nothing.
Nothing?
You sure about that?
William?
Okay, I just realized I haven't been here for since April because I'm busy, so I have a few updates. Okay, so I had 2 of my staff attend the National WIC Conference, which was late April, and today they're at Breastfeeding Learning Collaborative in Fairmont, so I'll be gone today and tomorrow. And it just counts and helps with CEUs to upkeep the WIC program going. Katie and I attended the Preparedness Summit in San Antonio late April. I guess some big Takeaways were definitely around the future funding for emergency preparedness. We did get funding approved for this next year, so that's a huge relief. You should see a task order come through soon. And then also got us thinking about ChemPack tabletop session that maybe we can do something on here. Measles is a big talk. Montana got its first measles case April 17th. There are 8 cases so far. They've all been out of isolation, and it seems like they were self-contained. We just continue to provide education to the public about measles and the vaccine. We still have vaccine clinic that is offered every Wednesday from 1 to 5, just for vaccines in general. So that hasn't stopped. We finally got our county car back last week. It was in the shop, so that's been repaired, all taken care of. And unfortunately, our same neighbor just last week hit another one of our cars in the front this time. So it was our breastfeeding peer counselors, Subaru got hit and damaged the end of it was just Friday, I think. So yeah, there's a whole new report for that one. So our car got hit in the back where we park our cars, and hers got hit in the front just on the street. It was parked and he went in and hit it on the whole side and front, came undone. So
Wow.
yeah, I just think you should stop driving for a while. Yeah, someone that looked like him. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. I feel bad for our neighbor, but oh man, he maybe just needs to stop driving for a little bit. So that's within 2 months that happened. Okay, what else is going on here? So Sarah and Katie are working on a 24-month program to obtain a public health certificate. They've been working on it for, it's been like a year and a half, so they should be done with it here pretty soon. So that's good and exciting. They finished finals last week and will be starting class again this week. I did a car seat check event with the Early Childhood Coalition Tuesday, May 6th. And an organization comes down from Coeur d'Alene and brings car seats, and we check car seats, and they bring car seats and we give them out as well and help people install them. So we did definitely over 20 car seats that day. It was a 3-hour, and there was 3 car seat techs, including myself. So that was really successful for the community. I want to say it was probably close to 30 car seat checks on families getting car seats. So that was really cool. And then that week, I also went down to Helena to renew my child passenger safety technician certificate. So that's done every 2 years. That's complete. Joe, our electrician, was in a week ago to route the generator. So the power was down for a little bit. We did transfer vaccine over the weekend when that happened, and then brought it back Monday, and they seem to have no issues, right, Dana? And then gas line was hooked up this last week, so that's moving along. We're down to our sign, so I think Joe will get around to it when he looks at his schedule and stuff, so that's coming. And then, as I mentioned before, I did receive the scholarship to obtain the public health management certificate through the Northwest Center of Public Health Practice at the University of Washington. So that's going to be a 12-month program starting in August, and it requires 1 week of in-person and the rest is online. So that will be starting up here soon. I'm really excited about that. So hopefully I can be better in my position. And then we also got approved for a near-term initiative number 11, supported by Behavioral Health Systems. It's a 2-year grant to support behavioral health, prevention, crisis treatment, and recovery efforts. And it's a big grant. It's $250,000 for 2 years. So we're going to need probably a part-time person for the 2 years only. So got to work on that as well. That's all I have right now. I mean, there's more, but that's the main.
That's a lot.
That's the main.
That's a lot.
Okay.
Join
Yeah, wow. Well, I guess the first thing I can say is I've been inspecting the trailer courts lately in the county, and I'm about halfway done. And I don't want it to just sound like this is a problem in trailer courts, but it is a problem that Tom and I are encountering more and more is hoarding.
And I actually went to a conference in Missoula on Friday, and a woman that put it on actually grew up in a hoarding situation. And so it was a great person to hear about this and how to deal with these situations, because what ends up happening is these problems become environmental health problems when someone has so much stuff that it becomes a danger to the neighbors next to them. Whether it's in a nursing home, because I've had a call about that. A woman's room was so full, they had no idea how to get rid of all her inmates. She was getting all Indian. So there's always underlying reasons why people hoard. And so what I guess I'm glad I learned was some ways to help people understand why they need to get some of their stuff out, like especially in the trailer court where it's up because there's so much stuff around it that it can pretty much, the rest of them are probably in danger of also going up. And so learning a little bit more about that was very helpful. I think a nuisance ordinance would also be, for the county itself, would also be helpful. I know the city has one, but we might consider, and only using it on these really extreme cases where it's gonna endanger your neighbors. And you get to the point where it's like, if a cigarette butt away from you putting up this entire neighborhood, it literally, and I know there's a case of it in the city that I've been all over them about, but anyway, and it's not in a trailer court. But so there's that I've been working on, but also, let's see, this week, gonna go to the fairgrounds and we're gonna look at the concession areas to just see if they have the right things to be serving, food. I know there's maybe a couple upgrades. We need to put a 3-bay sink in one of the areas that the JCs have been using forever, and Justin is really great about wanting to improve everything out there and bring it up to what we need to. And it's not going to cost a ton of money. I think the JCs are meeting me there after work on tomorrow night to go over all this. And then, what else is going on? A lot of stuff. Just seems like I've been so busy. Though I have a new vape store. I'm sure you're not happy to hear this. In Lima. And I'm going there this morning. He's going to be also offering food to the Continental Divide hikers and bikers and hunters and everything. So he's going to get a food license too. You know where this guy is?
I was there yesterday.
Well, okay, yeah. Small little place, but I just got to
You
go.
bake?
What's that?
Where do you bake?
No.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means?
But otherwise, I mean, everything's great and just been really busy. I think the weather gets nicer and the phone starts ringing, and Tom and I know, like, all of a sudden, it's like everybody, there's more mobiles coming on. It seems like because it's expensive getting into restaurants, that people are starting to fix up, want to do these mobile, either meat depots, what they call them, where they're getting their meat processed at a licensed processor, and this one lady wants to sell meat out of her trailer. Another one, a new snow cone one. There's another, and there's probably right now I have about 4 or 5 new mobiles coming up in the county. And like they said, it's mainly because of the expense of opening a new restaurant so high that mobiles are more affordable. So yeah, but they have to go by the same laws of the restaurant. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Just a lot of stuff. It's just been
It's good.
Yeah, it's all good though. It's all good.
For us, we're preparing for jury trial on Wednesday. We pulled 40 jurors for this criminal trial, and you see them wandering around lost Wednesday morning. Please send them up to district court. We're borrowing district court because my courtroom doesn't hold jurors.
40.
So, and today we have 2 sentencing hearings, and then just prep for trial after that, ordering food for jurors, water, coffee. We gotta spoil them for giving up their day. No one wants to, but it's our civic duty. So we're taking all their phone calls and explaining why they need to be here. And then we're also preparing to send out our 350 plus letters for next year's jury pool. So the jury pool runs July 1st through June 30th. So
Was I supposed to vote?
you did, yeah. I'm trying to yank my chain. Well, you're not on the list. So that's what we've got going on. And I'm lucky to have Megan here to help this year with the jury trial. So it's great.
Mike?
Well, it's the last week of school for the 5 rural schools. Jackson was done on May 9th. Last week, the Wise River kids went to Missoula for a field trip, and they wandered around on both Friday and Saturday. From the proposed agenda, I think they were going to go to the farmer's market on Saturday, to the university, to visit the library, to wander all over town. And then Wisdom also went on, I think on Monday and Tuesday. And Wise River's graduation is tomorrow night, and I'll go there. It's the only school that has an 8th grader this year. So it's, I'll have a little present for the kid. And he still hasn't decided where he's going to go to school. All the testing for the mask, the SBAC testing, all that's got to be done by Wednesday. And then all the schools will be out as of Friday. And then it'll be time for me to do OPI reports and stuff through June. But everything's good.
Did a good job at the track meet the other day.
And we're going to have at least one new teacher. The teacher in Polaris is applying for grad school. And so that job was open, but I see the listing has been taken down. So I'm assuming the Polaris School Board offered the teaching job to someone and has taken it. Wisdom's going to reduce. They're only going to have 1 teacher next year. There's only going to be 7 or 8 kids. So with the teacher's day, the school thinks they can handle it. It's been a good school year.
Dave.
Busy week last week. We had to go rescue a treasure hunter in the valley, and his truck's still up there. 2-wheel drive on North Valley Road, on Lyman Dam Road, so, or on South North. So it's still up there.
What did you do? Just get off the road?
What's that?
Just get off the road.
Yeah. Nick and I went up to Mauer. They couldn't get power back up there when all the snow came, so we tried to get up there and pick up. Snow started coming over the hood. Went back to Lima, grabbed the 4-wheelers we got 4-wheelers with tracks on them. I took those up there. We got up there and a ground blizzard came in, so we had to sit up there for about 2.5 hours, make a break in the track when it had a break in the clouds. So we couldn't even, the snow was so deep up there, couldn't even find the propane tank. The snow's about level with that building, probably 8 or 10 feet deep. We had to dig down to the doors. So. Had a standoff on Friday night.
Yeah.
Friday night, had a guy with dementia with guns, had a little standoff. Brought their Bearcat down, got us up to the front door. So, and then the guy did come out with nothing in his hand. So Reyes and I stormed the deck, and that's about all we had.
Where was that at?
Front door.
Oh, front man.
Yeah, so I don't know, we was up there about 5 hours. That's about all I had. What do you got?
Yeah, jail, we're staying pretty busy down there. Been working really hard to get some inmates out of the jail into their prospective future places of residence. County Attorney's Office has really been helping out with that and gets people out fast. The arrests between county and city, they just keep building. So we were down to, I think we got down to 15 at one point last week, and we're now back up to, we're at 18, I think, as of this morning. So that just continues to fluctuate. I've been working really hard with Barrett Hospital as well as Mako Insurance to get the medical billing back on track. Come to find out, it hasn't been with that other company since 2021. So it's been several years of just been let down. So I'm trying to get all that back on track. I do have bills coming in now from CRS with the Mako. So we can I'll bring those over to you and just discuss what's going on with those and what the progress is. Otherwise, I think maintenance this last week was in okay shape. We're still having some issues with the drains, but that's just kind of continuing on a daily basis. So I think that's about it for this last week in jail.
Are you letting them use
What?
flushable wipes?
No.
I have this talk with so many people and I'm like, those flushable wipes, you're not letting.
No.
Because I'm saying they'll clog up your.
No, we don't allow them. We give them the wipes they're just a disinfected wipe for the tables and stuff, but those get thrown in the garbage for the most part. And yeah, we're trying to get ones now that are like, more eco-friendly, so we're not screwing up the pumps downstairs. But yeah, if anybody does flush those, then we have a chat with that inmate and take care of it from there. But yeah, they all listen very well. So
Yeah.
I guess we did have one inmate go up to the emergency room this last week for some heart-related problems, but everything was good to go on that. So we're continuing to have issues with the health stuff, but most of it we can get done by appointments. But heart stuff we kind of take serious, so we had to take them up. So.
Great question. So we went up Long Creek, the Ruby Divide Road, and that culvert, they had the beaver dam, they had it before.
Oh yeah.
It was going over the road and stuff.
Oh yeah, so we want to talk about trapping stuff. So at this point, I can no longer trap. But if the county road departments, I think you can do it as the head, or I don't know if you guys have to do it. Talk with Cameron or Carrie here with Fish and Game, and they will issue they can issue you a kill permit for the next several months until trapping season opens again. They said that I can be allowed to act as the agent, whatever needs to happen, and then I can just go up and take care of it without trapping wise. Yeah, I'd be happy to. So. It just has to go through Fish and Game first to get the permit, and then I can act as an agent of the county to be able to go up and do it.
Okay, do I do that or do these guys?
I would imagine it's probably the commissioner.
It's probably you guys. Yeah.
Usually if it's a private place like Shoot Ranch or Matador, you would have to get the owner of the ranch to go to the game warden or the forestry department and get the permit.
You get the permit, just bring it in and then put your name on it, Bob, too.
Yep.
Contact.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get a hold of one of them and see if they can stop in.
Yeah.
And if we can get a permit, if you can do that.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
You get the slip.
We're not allowed the guns in our trucks, but we sure like them.
Want to take one, Mike?
Don't you have a compartment under the seat? I'm sorry.
Let's go. Apparently back in the day, that was a problem.
Cody.
Sky's dad passed away yesterday, so keep his family in your thoughts and prayers. He will be gone for a little bit this week and next week, taking care of matters there. As far as our office, we're just busy. Got a trial coming up, like the judge said on Wednesday, district court tomorrow. Same old, same old.
All right. Tom, Mike?
Nope, nothing here.
Hey.
Got one more thing. We had the Beaverhead Brewery pint night on Friday.
Yeah, we were there.
All three of us were there.
Oh.
I thought it went pretty good. I've never been to one, so I didn't know what it was gonna be like or what to expect, but we got $450 donation from 2 donors for the Beaverhead Resource Assistance Center on top of whatever the total was for the pint nights, which I'm sure we'll get more information today or tomorrow.
And we had a raffle for our employee
For
party
employee
fund,
Christmas
that, because we have to continue to raise money all year for that. And what did we make on that?
140.
That's not bad.
Who won? I didn't get a call,
Actually,
so.
one of the people who
Donated.
gave a $200 donation,
That's karma right
Patty,
there. That's
Patty
pretty
Hartman,
Yeah.
Patty Hartman.
Hearts.
Yep.
That's great.
Oh, and yeah, what else we have? We're having a barbecue cook-off coming up. We'll start thinking about that, because Cheryl upstairs was organizing us having teams where and we're gonna do this in June. again, another fundraiser for the party at the end of the year, so.
Food being inspected.
And by then you'll be, I'll expect them for sure, but by then you'll be able to eat all the stuff we're gonna be cooking, so.
All right, there's a card going around for Rob Masteroski's retirement.
Mhm.
It's on my desk right now. We need to get it around.
Okay.
Hey, Rob's done a great job.
Yes, and I actually, I'm not here.
Okay, it's his birthday on Friday.
And I put up birthday.
He was enjoying a good ride through the weather.
Yeah, and then the 29th, which is a Thursday, because his last day is the 30th, I ordered a cake from Safeway, and then we'll have a little celebration in the, he's kind of shy, so Rochelle told me to play it down real low, and I go, okay, don't worry, but I did say, we need to get him a cake, so we will have a cake on the 29th, but I think you're gonna put out a notice, Dana, about that, just to remind everybody, okay, so.
Anybody else?
Just interesting, Judge Braddock was on the radio this morning, raising money from the Great Harvest. And they're having the Great Harvest bread sale all week.
Yep.
The last one forever.
Forever. They have new owners and.
It's a private equity company, don't ask my husband what they do to companies.
Yep.
So
We'll give you a-
anyway, yeah, that's, if anybody wants the last chance to do that, one of the different causes the money going for, but that's gonna sort of be a big sad deal, Great Harvest.
That's this week.
That's going on now, yes.
Wednesday through Friday.
Wednesday through Friday.
I can't believe they're not gonna do that anymore.
Yeah, it was a huge shock. It's gonna be a huge hit for the community for sure.
Huge. Are they gonna keep the officers here, do you know?
Probably.
All right. Anybody else? Thank you, guys. Have a good week.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened?
So why don't we be here for the? You might stay for this next 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Are we doing budget stuff?
Retention records.
It'll take me like 5 minutes.
Okay.
I don't know how to relate to you, but you can hear what she said.
Are we doing budget stuff? Are they doing budget and stuff?
At my desk.
Yeah.
So you guys are really-
Oh, you're sick. I need a signature from you, sir.
So this is for last year's 2024 special district election. The retention is for 1 year, and I'm just requesting that we can go ahead and destroy those.
You're not doing much. Today? Okay. All right. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Next item, discussion and act on record retention clerk recorder.
Yep, so I just mentioned it's, the 2024 special district election, which was the public hospital district and fire district number 2. Retention for that is 1 year. We've reached that point, so we're just requesting that we can go ahead and dispose of those records.
Any discussion?
Does that need a motion?
Motion.
Probably.
Somebody wanna make a motion?
Motion to permit these records to be disposed of.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor, signify by aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Not, tomorrow night. Usually I do that after prayer.
Yeah.
I would measure the country
Yeah.
Yeah, and we get it all.
And shut the door.
I don't know who's.
We're done.
Chatterboxes are.
Unless you got more.
So, Stacy, when you get these, things to, be motioned to be destroyed, do you guys let them sit up a little bit before you call the truck in, to get them disposed? We'll call it now. Okay,
I wait until they sign off before we actually call the truck.
okay.
Yeah.
Did you need to talk to Stacy about the truck?
You know, I was just gonna say that Stacy provided me with the latest list of records that my office needs to keep. And it doesn't say anything about the monthly statements of expenses.
The A101s and stuff?
Well, I have to keep the trustees' financial records, but the monthly payments that the clerks list, I get all that stuff and I put it in the little booklets, but I don't see any place where I have to keep that.
Okay.
For
Some, like, I know some of the stuff like A101s falls under finance. So like, when I make my weekly deposit for the clerk and recorder's office, I get an A101.
So the clerks may be,
Okay.
but I don't, I just get the list of
I can look
expenditures.
at your schedule and see what it says and see, because sometimes even with our stuff, it may be worded completely different.
Okay. And then where do I keep that? After I take it out of, I can't put it in a file. I can't lock it up, except lock it in my office. So if I'm taking all that stuff out of those binders.
Yep,
And so,
and you have to keep them,
no, I think this is the stuff that
that
can
you
be
can
shredded.
insure, then, and we can go into that later. You have to put the page, the schedule, so you like Schedule 19,
Yep.
for superintendent schools. Then you have to put what the item number is, like if it's, 1A, then you have to put that on there, you have to put the page number on there. Yep. So depending on how old some of your records are, there's also the 10-year rule too.
I do have some stuff
Which
that's
is
all.
10-year rule, then it has to go to the state, which I was gonna mention to you guys too. I don't think it's a bad idea, being that we have a lot of new department heads, to have the folks from the state come down and do another records retention in service. We did that years ago, probably like in 2010 or 11, but we haven't done one since, so it probably would be a bad idea to have them come down and do another training on that.
I think it'd be a good idea, because Stacy Setzer has no idea what she can keep and what she can't keep downstairs. And there
Yeah,
are
a lot of
boxes.
people don't even know that there's these schedules out there. That's what I'm saying. the
Right,
way-
and there are boxes downstairs that have been there back to the 70s that I don't even know that we really need, so.
My
So-
stuff doesn't go back. that
No,
far.
yours doesn't, but I mean, like, there's some finance things that Stacy doesn't even know what she needs, because if you go back to like 73, 85.
Yeah, and
Moving
some
all
stuff payroll wise, I
We
think some
do
have
have
to
to
be
keep-
permanent,
Right.
yeah. But that's what the retention schedule is for. It tells you how long you have to keep them. Anything over 10 years, you have to do a different form. And that form actually has to go through, they need to sign off on just the form, but then it needs to go to the state records.
Before
retention.
we can shred that.
Yes, because they have to approve it, because sometimes some of those records, depending on what they are, they consider them historical, and they send them out to like the historical society, museums, that type of stuff, to see if they want them first before we destroy them. If they have no interest, then they will sign up and approve them. Yeah, but we have to hold them like an additional, I think it's like an additional 60 or 90 days.
So,
Well, what's interesting is how long ago was the flood downstairs?
I believe it was 4 years ago
this
now.
year.
Memorial weekend.
So I think 4 years
Because it
ago.
was the Tuesday morning of Memorial Weekend when I opened up the back doors and heard the water running.
So
down
we
the
got
basement.
3 storage units down the street.
Yeah.
And I would be willing to bet that there's been very few people in them things in the last 4 years. And
I
in
think
a couple more years, it's all of a sudden the institution of knowledge is gonna fall because they're even there.
Right. I think myself, David Went, and I think Brian Coble from the coroner's office that I'm aware of, because I have the keys other than finance. Those are the only people I've taken down there since the flood.
Well, and again, it depends on the
Right.
schedule, because depending on the record, some records are permanent,
A
so.
lot of them county attorney
Yeah.
stuff, so they
There's a
want
county
to.
attorney,
Yeah.
justice
Yeah.
court, and then
Coroner
we do-
probably too, I bet, is a lot.
Yeah, we have one that's shared with like, it's kind of like the mutt of it all. It's got some finance, coroner, I think some stuff with the commissioners, maybe a little bit, but it's just like whatever's left over.
What we ever want to buy a big canister container thing to store stuff in, maybe be worth it. 'Cause that bill's gonna come here next month again, in terms of
I mean, how,
$500 a year.
but at the
or
same
something
time,
a
how
year.
much stuff do we still have that people aren't doing retention? I mean, I know.
Yeah.
Justice Court does retention, Kathy does retention, I do retention.
Right.
I don't think there's too many other departments in the county that do retention, which probably could be, and getting rid of more stuff.
Right, and I mean, I could mention that to Judge Braddock too, because I don't know, they have a lot of stuff too that they may be able to digitalize now, so they're working on the digitalizing.
Yeah.
To where,
Well, it looks like we could find a place to put a canister over on the fair, on the road department ground or some damn place rather than paying.
yeah,
Storage unit.
'cause I know the one in the
Wouldn't have to be very big.
no, so the justice court one, or the county attorney one is actually the biggest. And it actually moves over into a little bit of the justice court. That one's almost like shared. And then the justice court, and then the other one, but most of it is county attorneys.
I don't know if you can do anything
The
with
justice
justice.
court. And, yeah.
They keep anything and everything forever. Just in case the case comes up.
Right.
But that's something I can look into, if that's something that everybody would like to see, I could certainly check into having someone coming out and do another training on that.
I just sat here because I know I help you with retention.
I think that'd be great if the state would send someone to go through our stuff and say, you could throw that away, shred that, you have to keep that
They
forever
won't
and
do
ever.
that, Mike.
I'll bet that won't work.
They
I bet they don't do that.
They will come down and they will.
Teach us.
they will-
Teach you how to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
Hand you a piece of paper with it.
Or
You got
if you don't know, you can always call them too.
Right, and I could probably call Pam over in Madison County, she's the veteran now.
Yeah.
New guy in Butte and me, 4 years, so.
Okay,
Okay, that's good for me.
Okay.
Thank you for that list.
you're welcome. And if you have questions on the form, just let me know.
I'm not gonna bother you anymore.
When you find out any, just let me know. Thanks, guys.
Write that down.
Is it still
And then
recorded?
shred it.
Is it still being recorded?
What?
The meeting, yeah. Yeah, so Mike, she's got it on record.
Right here.
That you said you're not gonna bother me anymore, so.
Oh.
It's recorded.
It can't be shredded. Okay.
All right.
So when you find out what
Next item, discussion action, credit or audit contract renewal.
Okay, the big thing is we got the draft audit back, asking for any corrections and stuff, and we made what corrections we need and got sent back to them. But with that said, Bob Denny that owns Denny and Downey Auditing is retiring effective June 30. So, he sold to, his employees that's been working there, so they renamed the thing, so item number 1 is we need to decide if we're gonna stay at the same company, just different names, and authorize them people to have our information that they've got up there.
I see no problem. Indirectly, we work with all those people.
Yeah, John's
That's
been
the hell easiest way.
I have.
So I'd make a motion that we, sign this thing and turn this over to what they're calling the Nexus CPA Group, PLLC.
Nexus, NEX.
So,
Make that motion.
Second,
second, or,
more discussion?
On first.
nope.
John's chair.
All in favor, signify by aye.
All right, then next they sent out, I guess, authorize me to sign these.
Yeah.
Okay, then the next, we've always had a 3-year audit contract with Denny and Downey, and it's up again to start next year. So, we need to decide, today, if we're gonna sign the next 3-year audit contract with this new, company. And I
That's
would
the same company, right?
Yep, and I would make, that's Nexus LLC. So
Okay.
I would, make a motion that we, go ahead and sign this next 3-year contract with John and his bunch.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor, signify by
All right,
aye. Motion carries.
okay, and then with that, there's just, about 4 more signature pages we need, with this non-audit advisory services. It's got the contract, how much they charge above and beyond the contract. If we call them and need to know stuff, what they charge for us. And then it basically boils down to we got one for every year these pop up, is what these next, next contracts are. Pretty typical what we've always done with Bob Denny, so, they just need an authorized signature on the thing, so if you'd authorize me to sign this, make a motion to sign these contracts and get it back to them.
For a second? You want that in the motion?
I move that we do that.
Yeah. Second. All in favor, signify by
Alright,
aye. Motion carries.
so the audit will be back pretty quick. There was only one finding, and that is with this, uninsured money in the Bank of Commerce. And, we just have a disagreement between the bank auditor and our auditor. And, we do have to respond, and that's Kathy Huckey's job, and she called over there to get the report. So their bank auditor sent quite a article back of, why we don't have to do it, why we are legally insured down there at that Bank of Commerce. But, so they're arguing over state law. So our response will be is we'll put that letter into the contract or into the report, give it back to them and see if this new auditor agrees with it. They both quote MCA. Montana Code Annotated says this. Banking rule says this. But there is, there's like $3 million bucks down at the Bank of Commerce that our auditor don't think is insured.
They sure 100%. Right. That's what it bumped into.
Yeah, so, but other than that, that audit report will come out pretty quick. We'll have to, like they said, give it to the newspaper so she can report on it.
You think that bank would know whether it's insured or not?
It isn't insured.
So Casey, I gotta get it to Casey to make sure she asks the right
Probably
question.
90.
See if she'll read through that audit report.
Or something
Yeah.
crazy.
All right.
Anyway.
She got no sense of humor this morning, does she?
Like a statue.
What would you like me to say?
Nothing. Wait till the report comes. Then you read through it and you ask questions, what I want.
Not what you want. No? It's not how it works.
All right, what do we got?
Compensation board members appointment.
That's at 10 o'clock. Can't do it.
No.
He got time to refuel.
There's 2 different sets because she brought me the clipped one is from last Friday.
Okay.
Thinking y'all had a meeting on Monday.
Okay.
And then, so this is 2 different weeks.
Okay.
That's why they're separate.
Calendar there. Got taken care of. Ouch.
All right. Discussion action appointing compensation board members. And
I think the list is there. Right?
I mean, it's my very awful handwriting list, but
on that,
that's who we got so far.
This is the thing that we love every year. I mean, it's a state law that we do this. The compensation board consists of us three. Three commissioners got to be on there, the county attorney's got to be on there, and three other elected officials. So, and then, at that point, we commissioners appoint two public to sit on the board. And then each one of the three elected officials that we appoint have the right to bring one public official. So that's what assumes to be the board. Every year, like I said, we've sort of rotated or kept elected officials on as we went. So did I lose Stacy this year?
I don't know.
Kathy.
I did Kathy Huckey.
yeah,
Okay, I appointed Kathy Huckey, or nominated Kathy Huckey.
I'm Carly.
You did Carly
yeah,
Anderson.
Tom's Carly, I did, Stacy,
Senior Stacy Reynolds across the street.
Stacy appointed, Trent Carter. Kathy's good.
Sean
Sean Ward,
And I got Marty Lackner.
and, yep, Marty Wagner. And there's Jim Mead.
Jim, oh,
Those are your community members.
the fellow that's sat there.
Jim
Oh, yeah,
May
right,
and
yeah.
Marty Laughlin.
Mean or Maine or whatever.
Does that fill it?
Is that enough bodies?
Carly,
Carly election official.
Carly didn't tell me her community members.
Oh, that's right, I didn't.
Oh, no.
Kathy
She
told me hers, Stacy told me
Carly
hers.
is.
Carly didn't tell me hers.
But
She said-
Carly is, in the past, has chose,
Dana.
Harrison.
Yeah, Dana.
Hannah Harrison, we can't find her. I tried to catch her too, but I can go.
see, that's what, well, Carly can do that, we get all it down. That was the person that we had always nominated.
Yeah, right. I told her.
I can run up master, tell her to give her another try.
Okay, well, yeah.
Because I think she's out of town.
And then our two nominees are the private are who?
Marty Lackner,
And Jim May.
And
Jim.
Jim, the guy that didn't come here all the time, okay? So if that's slate, I make a motion, we nominate that much or appoint that much for the compensation board this year.
Is there a second?
Second.
Don't put it. Any more discussion? That's got it, doesn't
Yeah,
it? Okay,
Wes Carly's.
all in favor, signify by aye. Aye, motion carries.
When's your first board meeting on this?
And that's what Dana's trying to line up.
Yeah, it's a tough deal, because everybody's not here.
It started out, now it's clear down there on the end. And
Yeah, it's usually in June, you know, right? Because this is where you.
I can do it the morning of the 20.
It's usually in May. Last year it was in June because it
I
was.
think Mike said we had the 10th, or was that something else?
So the budget just,
Oh, budget.
preliminary budget, it would be nice to have it like that, so Stacy can get working on it.
Yeah.
Do some, I'm gonna ask you guys to help do some research on that. It seems like it's been about 15 years to set the motion on the table of, I've always done it, so. Just this practice of putting this stuff on, if somebody else is gonna make a motion of what we're gonna start doing, have the discussion get started, so. Just a heads up, I'm not gonna do a report of what the wages around the state are. And it just doesn't take much to find a little bit out, but,
Yeah. Monday morning, 29th. Or possibly early Friday morning, the 30th.
or you can even put it on, if we have to, we can go to the June 2nd meeting, put it, just do
That first week of June.
something, and do it on that afternoon or
Well,
something.
this week is out because you're leaving today and you'll be gone all week, right? You won't
Yes.
be back this week at all?
Till even the 27th,
Well, the
No, John.
27th is
Commission.
Yeah.
Well, there's a whole bunch coming up on that day.
Yeah.
That's,
Carly
we got
has
flipping
one.
holiday again.
And then first week of June.
That's, I'll figure it out.
Another question.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that one.
The first service is supposed to. Decided not to push it.
Anybody else?
There's trees on the windows.
Oh.
Goes through the.
I'll give you the documentation.
Yeah,
All right. Discussion, Arches Canyon Road.
Discussion, no action.
Update, okay.
Yeah, just, we put that on just a quick update here. There's been a lot of, emails going through our office and in particular, and, of people in support, community members, all this has been going on. Then last week, we started getting a lot of the negotiations between the two parties, internally on that part. I've been asking our county attorney, this looks, definitely like, we're gonna be into, our insurance company on this, no matter what we do. You guys, went up and did the, investigation, that's required, and now we're on, not necessarily, we're doing our due diligence now. It's not really a deadline when we gotta get done with this. But with that said, I've been looking back on this, of where we're at. And I still would like to, I'm gonna ask the attorneys this, and our insurance company the same way. I am a believer that there were some fatal flaws, very possibly on the 91 petition. So, I've always said that you can't fix a mistake with another mistake. So, part of our research, I want to go back to that part and research that part of actually, finding out of why that road was abandoned if it was done legally. It's probably not a very popular thing on a lot of parts with people, but that road was there for a reason. And, I've always said that I'm not a big believer in abandoning any public property, whether it be at Argenta, the Wisdom, the little town plots and stuff. So I'm seriously going to be asking that question. Is I think that's where we need to look first to do our due diligence and go through the process there. It's probably best for the county. And I think we can do just either declare it ourselves that there was a flaw done or ask the courts. So that's sort of the update where I'm going to get sitting on the part. And I'm a firm believer that way.
No, I completely agree with what he's saying as far as you don't want to compound mistakes. If a mistake was made back in 91, there's several things we can do in order to look at that. We've been speaking with Mako. I spoke with Mako attorneys. They pointed us to some prior case law. So we will kind of explore our options there. We're not under a deadline for you guys to make a decision as far as the petition. The only deadline there was the 30-day investigation, which we completed. So I think it's a wise decision to look into that and do our due diligence.
And that's too, and otherwise, I've always been a big supporter of Mako and our group policies we have with that. Like Cody said, as soon as you talk to them, they've been there, done this before, almost identical.
You just told me that there's a county that just went through this.
Yeah, Fallon County.
Quite a while ago, but yeah, they've seen these cases before, so that's why I think it's only our due diligence. If they're our insurance company, I think that's a lot of times you're gonna have to use their advice. So I want the parties, everybody to understand that that's maybe where we're looking.
Verified or not?
And let them know, because the petitions have changed a couple of times. Like I said, like naturally, this is the first time we've ever been through a case like this. And I want to make sure we got it right, because there's a couple others across this county that may be looked into because of this case.
Anybody? Comment?
And like I said, we're not taking any action. This is just an update, and appreciate all the emails coming in. And we've got a box full of them, and that's why, I mean, the same way, that's why we want everybody signing in today, just in case this blows up in our face, everybody gets to go to court, so. We ain't going alone.
And then I appreciate the back and forth among the two parties, back and forth. Who knows, that may come to something. So I believe that, I'd encourage that. That's easier for any and all. Anybody? You're making this meeting way too easy, guys. But I like it. Yeah,
Well, no, I wouldn't say there should be much going on other than that.
right? Yeah.
So my question just is Matt Kelly, I represent Smith Unit. There had been discussion about having a big public meeting somewhere else where everybody could come in and have their thoughts. Are we just tabling that for now until we figure this issue out?
Yeah, until I get a little further down the road and make one, because I'll tell you, if we, decide to do what I just said, it'd probably take a big public meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, I know, well, just the people I've talked to on the streets that have jumped about this, you know, it's a split bag. There's a lot of reasons, you know, whether I be pro-industry and stuff, you know, it's good, but, another industry, you know, public land access, you know, which is big, I've always talked about. So that's the other piece of this thing, so. Yeah, there will be a meeting when we get that decision made a little down the road here.
Thank you.
I guess if that's it, thank you guys for coming.
I read all that. Let's just make sure. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, the exact steps.
Sure, we'll probably.
I got 15 now. Yeah, probably.
We're down here.
It's not good for us if that's the road going. Yeah, I know.
Take care.
We all got our jobs to do.
Yeah,
absolutely. As best as we can.
Yep.
Nice to meet you. Yep. Good to see you guys. See you. Okay, thank you.
Not very. We do it. Don't let me, what are we at, 11 o'clock?